During this lesson, we want to teach you how to escape a side headlock. So to begin with, usually pretty much where we're at now, maybe the actual arm shoots over to try to grab me in a side headlock when I'm caught by a supply, maybe from a multiple attacker. So again, I want to practice intercept. Hands up. As he starts to try to get a side headlock, I just want to slip out to the side. So I want to think about having a place on the wrist, and then as I come up, I can either use the shoulder, or depending, sometimes I can get the elbow. I just want to slip out to the rear. So in more of a dynamic motion, I can slip out, and now I'm in a good position to initiate counter strikes, should I need to. Now the next one is I want to look at an option where Matt grabs me into a side headlock and we're quite upright. But maybe the situation is I don't want to actually cause a lot of harm to Matt for whatever reason. So we're going to cover a non-violent option. So from here, I want to frame. So one hand comes up, the other hand comes as a support base. Now essentially from here, I'm just going to push. So even if Matt's holding really tightly, I can break that grip. And now from here, I just back out, and now I'm in a position where I'm in number 3 position or position number 4. So I'm in a very good position to be in. Now let's say next option, as I come through here, maybe he's not punching me yet, but maybe I want to release that grip. I can now start to look at fingers in the eyes, and I can start to use that to also break the grip. Now pop out the back. So the next position we're going to cover, the same position, but if he starts to throw punches. So essentially, as soon as that punch comes, I want to start to block. So if he keeps trying to punch me, I can start to block. Okay, now I can control this. Now again, I can slip out. So as soon as I frame, I use that opportunity to slip out. So again, I'm here, he starts to punch. I can even use this as a frame. So keep punching. So it'll be hard for him to actually punch me. Now I can slip out. So I can even use my frame here as like a structure to protect myself. And again, let's say some punches are starting to come through, I can now start to cup and grab here. Okay, I can also start to look at controlling and trapping to send more about T-clinch. So I can pop out and take the back. Okay, so that is also another option from there. So again, just to summarize that, I'm here, he starts to punch. I can now cup the arm so he retracts. I can now look at trapping into our T-clinch. Now essentially my hips are facing his hips are facing away from me, and I'm in this position of control. Now from here I'm just shrugging. And then I'll pop out the back. So that's another way we can do this. The next way is, let's say this situation is a little bit more extreme, and I need to cause a lot of damage to the attacker. As we come back through, I'm in this position, Matt starts to strike. Now from here, I want to start to think about getting my fingers in the eyes just above the nose, and I want to pull his head backwards. Now from here, I want to grab hold of his shoulder, and now essentially what I'm going to do is step backwards with my rear leg. And I want to take Matt down. So again, I'm here, Matt's coming in, he's throwing a bit of strikes, I now get my face peel. Now I step to the side and roll it into where it falls onto the ground. And now I can escape. So the next technique what we can look at is where Matt's got a side headlock, but this time I'm quite low. Okay, so essentially what I can do from here, if I'm pretty low from here, I want to see if I can get my hand in. So just release it a little bit. So I want to think about my hand feeds in, so the hand closest to his hip feeds in. I just want to grab in here, and I want to really hold, create a bit of space. Okay, as much space as I can towards my throat. Now from here, I want to push into him. So usually if I push into him, Matt's going to push into me. And then essentially what I want to do from here is as I push and he pulls into me, I want to pluck this leg. So again, maybe he's got a headlock and he really pulls me down. I'm in here, I start to swim this hand through and lock the wrist. I push into him. As he pushes back, I want to pluck. Sometimes what can happen is, let's say I slip. So as I come through here, I just can't pick this up. But usually, even if I pick it up a little bit, if I create any bit of grip break here, I can sometimes just slip out. Or sometimes, you know, I just pick this up. If he does it before, I'm now more into a single leg. Now, essentially, I may be able to slip out there. So if I know how to do any sort of single leg takedowns, I can initiate a single leg takedown. Most of the time, they either fall to the ground, or as soon as you lift that leg, their grip becomes a little bit compromised, so you can slip out.